Nobody wants to buy your digital product, but over 289,670 people want to buy this crusty old car that's being advertised on Craigslist. Why is that? It's because of positioning. Positioning is important in any kind of business, but it's even more important when it comes to a digital product business. And if you know what positioning is, or you might think what positioning is, then my question to you is, why are you still struggling to sell your digital products? So even if you think that you know what positioning is, I guarantee you're going to find value from this video. And if you don't know what positioning is, then buckle up, because you're about to learn how to make a bunch of money selling digital products. And when it comes to positioning, we need to talk about a funnel, which you're going to find a funnel in every single business. And we have to talk about these things, because you're not going to get into this whole digital product business without treating it like a business. It is a business. If you want to make money, you need to treat it like a business. So understanding the concept of the funnel and how positioning works within that is really, really important. But I think it's even more important to distinguish the two different types of digital businesses, because to my personal view, there are two different types of digital product business. You have your personal brand, where your face is attached to the business, and you have the faceless brand, where your face is not attached to the business. So whether that's a corporate looking kind of business, or as simple and as stupid as a theme page, that will be categorized as a faceless brand, and that is completely different from a personal brand. With both of them, you can sell digital products, but there is a key difference between the two. So as you can see from this diagram, the personal brand, the positioning of the personal brand focuses more on the top of the funnel. So if you figure out the top of the funnel, the positioning at the top of the funnel, then everything else will be much easier, and you won't struggle to make money with it. When it comes to faceless brand, a faceless page, whatever that may be, the top of the funnel is still really important, but the key focus here is around the mid of the funnel. And if what I just said makes absolutely no sense to you, don't worry, I'm gonna break it down with examples and all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna fly through. I wanna make this video packed of value. Whether you're just starting out your digital product now, or whether you've been trying for a while, I want you to take action and use some of the stuff that we're gonna go through today, because it's really gonna change the trajectory of your business. So let's focus on personal brand for a second, and then I'm gonna cover the faceless brand and theme page. So for a personal brand, the main positioning and all of your positioning is gonna come from you. So how you look, what your life looks like, what is your story, how old are you, where you're from, what is your personality, what are your hobbies, and what you like, and so on. There are so many different little things in life that make us humans unique, and all of these things come together, make you. So that is the strongest positioning that you can have as a personal brand, because nobody can copy you. That is the biggest leverage of a personal brand. Nobody can be like Iman Gadzhi. There is only one Iman Gadzhi. Nobody can be like Sam Ovens, Alex Hormozi, or Charlie Morgan. There's only one of these people, and you are yourself. The second that you start to look like these other guys, you try to replicate what their life looks like, you try to replicate their story, people are gonna see through that shit. It's just not genuine. Trust me, like the people that are trying to replicate others because they've been successful, they're not gonna make it. So this is really important when it comes to building a digital product business around your face, around your personal brand. And to really paint a picture of why this is important is, let's take a fitness ebook example. Let's say that we are in the fitness industry, and these two different kind of people are selling a fitness ebook. So the same industry, the same product, and we have these two different guys. So one is a 18-year-old who is shredded and has a crazy lifestyle with girls, money, etc., and all that kind of stuff. And then on the other hand, you have a 25-year-old who is bulky and he does bodybuilding on his spare time. These two people are completely different. So even if they sell a product, even if they sell the same exact product, people are gonna perceive in a completely different way. So the people that follow this 18-year-old guy are probably other people that look up to his crazy lifestyle, that they like girls, they like money and all that kind of stuff. So they want to be like him. It's not so much about being shredded anymore. It's about being shredded like him and have his life. Because somebody that wants that crazy lifestyle and the girls and the money is not gonna give a single shit about being bulky and doing bodybuilding. And the same way, maybe you have a 28-year-old who follows this bodybuilding guy who couldn't care less about the whole girls and money kind of stuff. So same, as I said, same industry, same product, but two completely different scenarios. And this is what we mean by positioning. And again, your positioning will come from all these different points that are listed. So the key two questions that you need to get right when doing a personal brand is, are you being yourself? And is the product something that you would actually use? And these two go hand in hand together, because let's say, for example, that you're not being yourself, but you're selling a product that you would actually use. There is a discrepancy there. So because you're attracting somebody that is like you, but you yourself wouldn't use your own product. So why would they want to use your product? And the same way around, if you're being yourself and your personal brand is genuine, but the product that you just made is not something that would benefit or yourself or that you would use personally, then why would the same person that it's similar to you, that you've attracted, why would they want to use your product if you wouldn't use it yourself? So it's really important that you get these two questions right when it comes to positioning for a personal brand. And for a personal brand, then the beauty of it is that if you get that right, and if we scroll down to the bottom, the last step that would really influence someone from purchasing when it comes to positioning, it's your price and whatever guarantee that you may have in place. You just need to test out this kind of stuff. This is not really so much of an issue, especially when it comes to a personal brand. People don't think of price as much. If they love you to death, they're not gonna really care how much they're spending. And if they care how much they're spending, they're probably people that will never buy from you anyways. And with that said, that's pretty much personal brand in a nutshell when it comes to positioning. But now let's go into the faceless brand, which is something that everybody's trying to do nowadays, and it's not so easy. It's much harder to actually sell stuff. Just know that you need to work a lot harder in the middle of the funnel, and I'm going to explain everything with examples and all that kind of stuff. So when it comes to a faceless brand, I'm just going to use an example in the physical world, and this is going to make complete sense in the digital world in a second as well. So let's take this 1000 gram iron bar. This 1000 gram iron bar as a raw value is valued at $100. But then you take that same iron bar and then you repackage it and you make horseshoes out of it. And now you have a bunch of products that it's worth collectively $250. And then let's push it forward a little bit more. You repackage this iron bar to make sewing needles. And once you've used this 1000 grams to make all of these needles, all of them collectively are probably going to be worth around $70,000. And let's take this to the absolute extreme. You can take this same 1000 gram iron bar and make watch springs out of it. Luxury watch springs. The same exact raw material, just repackaged, and now can be worth up to 6 million. And so let me give you an example of how this works in the digital world. So let's say you're selling information with your digital product. And let's say that in these 4 case scenarios, the information, it's the same. So quote unquote, the product is the same, but we have different perception, different positionings. So you take that information, and if you put that on a YouTube video, it's for free, right? Nobody's gonna buy that. But you take that same information and you make it an ebook out of it. Now you can sell that information. But you're probably not gonna sell it for a lot of money, because when you say ebook, people already have an image in their head of what an ebook looks like. They compare it to other ebooks in the market, and most importantly, they have a price in their head. As soon as you say ebook, they know they're not going to be spending more than $20, $30 if they go and check out your product. But if you take that same information and then you repackage it into a course, which of course takes more effort, but the same way that I just explained the iron bar, it takes more effort to create the watch springs, but the reward is off the chart. So in the same example, if you wanted to put more effort and create the course out of that same information, then it will be definitely valued a lot more, because when we talk about courses, now people have a different perception of it. They're going to compare it to other courses they've seen on the market. They're going to have a specific price in their head, which usually is definitely above $100. That could be 100, 200, 500, 1,000, even higher than that, depending on the course that you have. But then you take that same information and then you make a coaching program. So it's somewhat like a course, but now you're doing the coaching with them, so they have live feedback. The dynamic is a little bit different, but the product, the information is exactly the same. It's just repackaged into a different product. Now it's a coaching program, and for coaching programs, people are willing to spend 1, 2, 3, 5, 10K and above, depending on your niche, depending on the problem that you're solving, how painful it is, and all that kind of stuff. So I hope you get the point, and I want to give you another example. And in this case, I'm going to focus more on the title of the products. In this example above, I was just showing you how you can shift the positioning of your product just by repackaging it. But another thing, or another way that you can shift the perception and the positioning of your product is simply by the title. It is absolutely crazy. You can change some words on a title and people would think something completely different of your product. And I'm going to give you an example now. So let's say you want to sell an ebook on how to sell. And let's say they just call that ebook on your product page. The title of that ebook is how to sell. Simply put like that. First of all, it's targeting everybody. Like everybody would want to learn how to sell. Why wouldn't you? But the issue is that there's absolutely free information everywhere on YouTube on how to sell for free. So why should somebody give a shit about your product, especially when your face is not even attached to it? So to be honest, like you probably wouldn't even be able to sell this. You can't call a product how to sell, an ebook how to sell, and think that you can sell that. It's just, I don't know who would ever buy that. But then let's take that same product and let's now call it how to sell as a freelancer. Now again, the difference is not much, so it's still not, it's sort of like a rookie kind of title still, but it's a lot better than just how to sell, because now you have freelancer, which identifies a group of people. And freelancer is still very, very broad, but if you have a freelancer that sees your product, now it sparks a little bit of curiosity from them, because they're probably thinking, is there a different way to sell as a freelancer? Am I missing something out? Could I be doing something better? Why is he saying how to sell as a freelancer specifically? And bear in mind, that is still very broad. But you can see how that can spark a lot more curiosity than just saying how to sell. Let's take that a step further. And let's say you want to call that how to sell UX design services as a freelancer. Now this is way, way better, because if you have somebody who's a freelancer and they specifically do UX design services to get clients, and they're struggling to get clients, and they know the issue is that they can't sell, they can't close people maybe, the second they see your ad or your product that says how to sell UX design services as a freelancer, I can 1000% guarantee you they're gonna be interested. You definitely hook their attention, and most likely they're gonna purchase from you, because if they really have that pain currently in their life and you've identified them so specifically, there's probably nothing else in the market that sells this exact same thing. And it's not even that narrow. There's probably thousands or hundreds of thousands of freelancers doing UX designs as services for their clients. But how many products have you seen around that teach you how to sell or how to close a deal as a UX design service freelancer? There's probably none. And even if you do, you have to dig in and do your research. But if you show this ad in front of these people, they're gonna think you just came from the sky and you're exactly what they needed. It was a coincidence that you appeared in the product feed and your product is exactly what they need. So they're most definitely gonna check your landing page, but I can guarantee you they're also going to buy. And the main thing is, I think entrepreneurs, have this fear of narrowing into something. And I don't understand where that comes from. I think it's because nowadays we are seeing all these people making millions and millions, and we think that we need to go broad. We see people making millions of views, getting millions of dollars and all that kind of stuff at a young age, and we think that the only way is to go broad like they're doing. The issue is that most of these people who are successful nowadays, like Ivan Gaji and all these kind of people, they didn't start off where they are right now. They went this broad back in the days. Back in the days, they focused specifically on something for somebody in a specific circumstance. And again, I'm talking about a personal brand, let alone a theme page. With a theme page, there is absolutely no personality behind you, so you most definitely need to tell your customers what your product is about, because they have no idea. So it all starts from the title. So this is where you can tell your customers that the product that you have is exactly for them, and they're not going to think twice about checking it out, and they're not going to think twice about buying it. And let's take this to an absolute extreme. How to sell UX designs for fintech companies as a freelancer. Isn't that insane? I know that this is probably too extreme, but I just wanted to give you the example, because if you have this title on your landing page and you land that group of probably a bunch of, like, a couple hundred people that are probably doing this same exact thing, the sale is guaranteed. I can guarantee you, like, you are definitely making that sale. And not only that, you can actually price your product way further up. So the same ebook that you could have said how to sell, now you can sell that same ebook with the same information, as long as, of course, it teaches people how to do that exact thing that you're talking about. So make sure that your product, in this case, for example, would actually teach how to sell UX designs for fintech companies as a freelancer. Otherwise, you're going to get a bunch of refunds. But nonetheless, you're going to find this very small group of people where you can charge them hundreds of dollars, because they're never really going to find anything else like this in the market. And so now you have a blue ocean. So the only person they can buy from is you, especially if it's the right time. And I wanted to give you a last example. So back in the fitness examples, let's take a fitness product again. And let's say, again, you want to call it, let's take a very broad title, how to get in shape. Again, pretty sure you wouldn't be able to sell this really as a theme page. If you have lots and lots of followers, fair enough. But if you're doing an ad, for example, you ain't really, like, this is not going to cut it. And let's say you're not so rookie and you start improving your titles. And now you have something that looks like how to get shredded in 45 days. A bit more specific. Now you have a time frame, and we're saying shredded. We're not just saying in shape. What does in shape mean? It means a million different things. Now we're saying shredded. So now you're speaking to a more selected type of people. But either way, even this is not really gonna make the cut, to be honest. And even if it does, you can't really charge much. But let's start to be a bit more specific. Let's push it forward a little bit more. And let's position ourselves, or this product, as how to get shredded on a carnivore diet in 45 days. So the only thing I've added in here is on a carnivore diet, and I can guarantee you that will get way more sales than this thing right here. Because again, this is a combination of things. Now you don't only want to get shredded, that person wants to get shredded whilst being on a carnivore diet. So they're trying to learn from you now, because you're the experts that teaches people how to get shredded on a carnivore diet in a very quick time frame. But even then, let's make this title perfect. So now you can push it even forward, and you can say how to get shredded on a carnivore diet as a hybrid athlete in 45 days. If somebody wants to get into the carnivore diet and wants to become shredded whilst being a hybrid athlete, I can guarantee you they're going to buy this product from you, and they're probably willing to spend a lot of money as well. The only thing that you need to make sure you're doing is that you're actually catering that product to them. Don't just make some bunch of nonsense or very broad kind of product. Make sure that the product actually fulfills on what you're talking about. Make sure it solves this specific issue. And don't feel like you're being too narrow. You can always expand as you go. But as a beginner, as you just start out, especially nowadays, it's everybody can make digital products. So anybody can just put out some information they took on the internet and just put some nice mock-ups and all that kind of stuff. So the competition nowadays, it's off the chart when it comes to digital stuff. You need to come in and position in a very narrow market, build that group of people, get your case studies and all that kind of stuff, and then you can start to expand. So then after that, you can strip back a little bit. Now you don't have to say hybrid athlete anymore. Maybe you just want to say shredded on a carnivore diet in 45 days. You know, as you get bigger and bigger, people will know more about you, your brand will become bigger, and all this stuff will be needed less. And so don't worry about being narrow. You can always expand your market. And to be honest, what do you rather prefer? Being narrow and making some good money to begin with, and maybe then you exhaust your market, but then at least you made that money and then you can expand? Or do you just want to feel like you're going to make a fuck ton of money by going broad, but actually make none of it? Well, of course, you want to make money. So trust me, you want to position your product in a specific category to begin with. And with that said, I wanted to also focus on this middle of the funnel for faceless brands. And the middle of the funnel involves landing page and offer, which we just covered with some of those examples, but it also means the product mockup or the copy. So of course you would want to make some product mockups that look professional if you're trying to charge more, and you want to make sure the whole environment, so the landing page, is also matching that vibe. Let me give you some examples here. So do you remember the crusty old car that was being advertised on Craigslist and over 289,000 people wanted to buy it? You might ask, why would people even care about it, let alone wanting to buy it? Well, it's because of the copy. So let me actually read through the description on Craigslist of this product, which was advertised in 2018, I believe, or something like that. But let me just read you this. You want a car that gets the job done? You want a car that's hassle-free? You want a car that literally no one will ever compliment you on? Well, look no further. The 1999 Toyota Corolla. Let's talk about features. Bluetooth? Nope. Sunroof? Nope. Fancy wheels? Nope. Rear view camera? Nope. But you got a transparent rear view and you have a fucking neck that you can turn. Let me tell you a story. One day my Corolla started making a strange noise. I didn't give a shit and ignored it. It went away. The end. You could take the engine out of this car, drop it off the Golden Gate Bridge, fish it out of the water, and thousands of years later, put it back in the trunk of a car, fill the gas up with Nutella, turn the key, and this puppy will fucking start right up. This car would outlive you. It would outlive your children. Things this car is old enough to do: vote, yes; consent to sex, yes; rent a car, it is a car. And you might think this is outrageous, but the number speaks for itself. Whoever wrote this copy is an absolute genius, because he knew that this car, who would want this car, bro? Who would want this car? But now 290,000 people are all like excited about it because the guy just made some jokes. You know, the same way that in social media, you have these meme pages that get like millions of views. And why is that? Because you find this joke, it's funny to you, you share it to your friend because you think it's funny, you want to make him laugh, and then he shares it to the other friend. Same shit here. Somebody saw this copy, had a very nice laugh, and then it sent it to the friend, and that friend sent it to the other friend, and so on and so on and so on, until somebody was willing to pay $2,500 for this car. Had it not put this copy in here, he probably would have never sold this car, or especially not at that price. But as I said, like, I'm not trying to tell you to make your copy funny in any way, shape or form. If you want to, you can position your brand that way. All I'm saying is that you need to bring in personality to your business, especially if you're a theme page or a faceless brand. Because if you have a personal brand, as I said, people see you, they hear you, they understand your personality. But if you have a faceless brand, there is nothing to it. There's no sorts of emotions coming through your page. And people buy because of emotion. They justify because of logic, but it all starts from emotions. So if your product has absolutely zero emotions, nobody's gonna give a shit about. And emotions can come in many, many different forms. As I said, you don't need to make people laugh, but maybe you want to focus on fear. Maybe you want to make people feel good about themselves. Maybe they want people to feel excited when they see your page. Whatever that may be, you need to spring some sort of emotion, and the only way you can do that with a faceless brand is through some words on the screen, aka your copy. And another very important part of a positioning for a faceless brand is landing page. So let me show you this. When you think of digital product, everybody is doing this thing on Etsy. So you go on YouTube, you search digital products, and everybody tells you to sell on Etsy. But fair enough, some people are making money off of it, but I absolutely hate Etsy. It's just, I don't know, personally, I will never buy from it. And the point being is that if you were to add your product, your digital product, let's say you're doing this bodybuilding ebook, and you add it to Etsy. First of all, there's a million other bodybuilding ebooks that you're going to find in there. Second of all, the people that come on Etsy, they already expect your product to be cheap. The same way that you go to a garage sale, you expect the products there to be secondhand and cheap. That's the same exact thing with Etsy. The environment in which you place your product, it's super important. It's part of your positioning. And so by you adding your product into Etsy, like, how are you even gonna sell your product when there are other people selling similar stuff for £1? Who's ever gonna buy your stuff at like 10, 15? Let alone scale an actual business doing digital products and make a living off of it. I'm sure some people do make money, but it's a lot harder. Why would you do this? Instead, you can just put some effort and make a website that looks a lot more premium. You're crafting your environment for yourself now. You can make your digital product look as premium as Apple does with their landing page. But now it's all up to you. You have control over the environment. So when somebody now comes in your product, not only you have these titles that are specific to them, the mock-ups that are a lot more professional and speak to them, the copy that evokes some emotions and again speak to them, to that personality, to their life and what they like and all that kind of stuff. Now everything just comes together because now they can't find that anywhere else. It's not like an Etsy product anymore. It's not this shitty ebook anymore. So now you can also price it a lot higher. So you can see, I just took this screenshot, which in all fairness, it's from a personal brand, a guy called Jeff Nippard, which has millions on YouTube. But nonetheless, the same applies for a faceless brand. If you have your own custom website, not only you can optimize that for the best conversion rate that you can, again, you can customize everything in here. So because of that customization, now you can ask for a higher price as well, and people will justify it because it feels more premium. And with that said, then the last thing that they will come down to, it's the price and the guarantee. Again, you need to make sure that this makes sense with the product that you have and all the kind of stuff that we talked about. If your product is super niche, you can test out higher prices. If it's not, you'll have to lower it. That's what we did with our own business. We played around a little bit with the price, and we found the sweet spot based on our positioning, and it was working really well. Once you have all this in place, it's either making more content or just making a few more ads and spending a little bit more money. Everything else is an autopilot. If your things works for a specific group of people, it would work for other people as well. So make sure that you position your product in some way, shape or form. I've given you way too many examples when it comes to positioning. So just take everything that we said and apply it to your own digital product business. One last thing I wanted to do is break a big objection that people have, especially in this whole digital product business thing. A lot of these entrepreneurs, they might think of, who buys digital products? Who would want my digital products? Digital products are too saturated. Well, let me tell you a few things. So everybody has issues every single day, and everybody is buying every single day. So there is no such thing as people not buying anymore or not wanting your product because there are too many in the markets. People have issues every single day. They are looking out for for these digital products. I'll give you an example. Somebody may buy a productivity tool, whatever that may be, and they might use that, but sure enough, after like a few months or maybe a few years, they're probably going to go back to their old habits, and they're going to have the same exact issue of not being productive. And so now they're going to think that product doesn't work anymore, and they're going to be in the market for the next product. So the next product comes around and they're going to think, oh, it wasn't my fault, it was the product fault, so maybe this is the right product, maybe this is the one. And then they try it out, doesn't work, move on to the next one. So people are buying things every single day, and people have issues every single day. So it's not about, the question is not, do they need a solution? Everybody needs a solution every single day. The question is, do they think they need your solution? And again, this means that the customer needs to think that your product is exactly for them, because these people, they have a pain, they have an issue, and they want that to be solved. So what they care about is having the highest chance of success. They don't want products that are not going to work, and they want the lowest risk because they are spending money and time in your product. So I don't blame them for being skeptical about your product. So that's where you break the skepticism, by being super narrow to the exact problem that they have. Whether that's especially when it comes to a theme page. If it's a personal brand, again, a lot of this like risk and chances of success really comes down to who you are. So if somebody wants to become shredded, they're going to look at you. Are you shredded? Yes, they like your personality. They're going to buy any program that you have. It doesn't really matter what the program says is going to do. They see you, they see your results, so they're going to want the same results as you. They're going to buy your products. But for a faceless brand, you need to tell them that like they don't see your abs, they don't see anybody. So you need to showcase, you need to persuade them a lot more. You need to tell them the exact details of what they're going through, the pains, and what they're going through in their life, and what is their ideal outcome. They need to think that your product is exactly for them, because there are so many paths or products that people can buy. They have an infinite amount nowadays. They can even get it for free on YouTube if they wanted to. So you need to make sure that your product portrays this straight line. So your product needs to be right here, and you're telling them, hey, this product, because it is so specific to you, it's definitely going to give you the highest chance of success with the lowest risk, with the quickest amount of time. So you have that straight line. So why would they go to other products that in theory would take much longer and there isn't a chance of success, when they can get your product, which speaks exactly to their problem? Again, for example, when we talk about this thing right here, how to sell UX designs for fintech companies as a freelancer. This is an extreme example, but if someone sees that and they are a freelancer doing UX designs for fintech companies, you're absolutely gonna sell them, and you can sell them for a lot more money. With that said, I hope you found value from this video, and I wish you as much success as possible in your own digital business product. And if you're serious about building and scaling a digital product business, then we've put a link down below where we have a free training. It's a very quick training where we take you step by step, all of the different steps that we've taken to build a successful digital product business. So if you're really, really serious about starting a digital product business, then click the link down below. Otherwise, I hope you found value from this video, and I'll see you in the next one.